Hello everyone. This video I'm going to be talking about how to use this frame mockup template. I'm currently working with this 2:3 aspect ratio, but the template's structured pretty much the same for all the other aspect ratios as well. Um, so it should be the same process. Basically, if you're a Photoshop expert, you should be able to get by without this video, but you might want to stick around just to see how the layers are structured and how it all works. Um, if you're a novice, don't worry. I'll explain everything in the next few minutes, and that should be all you need to be able to start using this thing. So basically, the template is split up into three different layer groups. It's got this props and overlays group, actual frame group, and the background group. And the way it works is you adjust what you want to see by toggling individual layer groups and layers on and off to see what you want and to get rid of anything you don't want. So for example, let's say we want some plants overlaid on top of everything. Just toggle this plant group on and you can see some plants come in. And let's say you want a different group of plants, then you can just go into this plants group by clicking this little chevron here. And you can see that in the plant variants group, there's a couple different folders. Right now, folder 2 is turned on, but if we turn that off and then turn on folder 1, you can see you got a different kind of plant here. And everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Depending on how the lighting in the background is, you might want to change the look of the plants as well. So I've included some kind of built-in adjustment layers here that you can turn on and off to change how the plants look. So right now there's this brighter layer turned on. If I turn that off, you can see the plants get a little darker. If I turn on the darker, they get darker still. And then you can kind of change their color temperature as well, depending on what kind of background you have. If you got like a cool gray color background, then you might want to turn on this cold plant tone adjustment layer just to get matched. It's really up to you. I'm just going to turn off all the adjustment layers for now. Close up the plants and just toggle them off. So the frame, if I turn that off, that is the actual image in the frame within it. And the background is the background. Pretty self-explanatory. So within the frame, you've got the different aspect ratios and sizes. So right now the landscape aspect ratio is turned on. And then if I turn on this small one, it's kind of the same thing, but just smaller. And then the portrait one is the vertical oriented version of it. So let's just stick with this first default one. And the way that these are all structured is if you unfold each one, the first option you get is to choose your matte size. So the matte is this kind of white border around everything. So right now the small matte is turned on. But if I turn on the large matte, you can see how the white border is a little thicker now. And if I turn on no matte, the border's gone entirely. So let's just stick with the small matte for now. And then within that, you have the frame thickness groups. Right now we have the thin frame turned on. If we were to turn on the thick frame, you can see how the frame's a little thicker here. And this is a good way to kind of give a size reference to this mockup. Like a smaller print, like a 5x7 inch print, might have a very small matte and a thick frame. And it gives you some idea of the size of the print. It's really up to you how you want to use it. So I'm going to turn the thin frame back on. And then finally, the last group of options would be the frame finish. So right now, if I zoom in here, we've got just like a black frame. You can't really make out any details in it. It's like solid black. If you look real close, there's some subtle details, but they're hard to see. So you can see in here, in the styles folder within thin frame, you have 5 different styles. Right now, black frame is the top layer, so that's what we see. But if we turn that off, now we have the white frame. Then under that, there's a silver finish, kind of a brushed metal finish, then a light wood. Get you a closer look at that. And then finally the dark wood. So I like the look of this dark wood. I'm happy with the matte size and the frame size and everything. So let's actually swap out our own image into this. So the way we do that would be to right click this image, this purple highlighted layer called your image in all caps. And just like in the layer title, we'd want to right click and click on edit contents. So what this does is opens up a new tab within Photoshop showing you the contents of that image. And here is where you'd place your own image in. So I'm going to go to File, Place. You can do it linked or embedded, it's up to you. And I'm just going to do the sample here. It's a photo I took back in Yellowstone National Park a few years back. I thought it would work nicely as a sample. So we've got that placed in, and all we have to do is save it. So save. You can see it's saved, and just close that image out. And back in the template, you can see it's automatically updated. So it's that simple. Finally, let's say we want to adjust the background. Let's take a look at those options. Close up everything else since we don't deal with it right now. And let's just look at the background layers. Right away, there's a vignette layer, which if you turn on and off, you can kind of see how it darkens the corners of this whole image, kind of giving focus to, or prominence to the central part and really drawing the viewer's attention into the middle, to the actual picture. I'm going to just turn that off for now. And then there's three types of backgrounds here. There's the wall textures, light colors, and dark colors. Right now, we just have a neutral gray light color selected. So if we go into that, see that there's two layers visible. There's this pattern fill and this neutral gray. So the neutral gray is the actual color that we see, this gray. And then if we zoom in, you can see this kind of speckling, which is the pattern fill. If I turn that off, just get the solid flat gray. Couldn't be more bare bones than that. And then you can just kind of turn on this cool gray, or maybe you want a warm gray, light blue. It's up to you. It's the whole point of the template is you got a lot of options. I actually want to use a wall texture for this one, so I'll just go through add there, toggle that on, and open up the group so we can see what options we have here. Everything's labeled clearly so you can see what you're turning on and off. Right now there's this red brick. It's that's small. You'd want to use a small one for larger prints. Like you get the idea that this would be a huge print on a wall. But to make it look like a slightly smaller print, you just on this red brick large layer, you can tell it's now a much reasonably sized print just in reference to how big the bricks are behind it. And we have a bunch of other layers. We got a few types of marble. Just going to go through all of them. There's some nice burled wood, some concrete, all very neutral types of backgrounds so as not to detract from the picture, which is the focus of it. Bricks. Stone, and then just like regular stucco wall paint. I think this smooth stucco is probably my favorite just because it looks the most like just regular wall paint. See in a house or some drywall or something. And then finally we have the dark colors. So I'm going to turn off these other layers. You can see that they're set up pretty much the same way as the light colors. There's a pattern fill and then the dark color. So I don't know, maybe I've decided that I want to use this kind of dark green. We'll have some furniture on here. Yeah, so there's like a dresser that comes up. Maybe that's not the dresser I want to use though. So I'm going to go into the furniture and I'm going to turn on other dresser. Not really liking that one either. Finally, we got this one. But based on how dark the wall color is, thinking that this dresser should be darker. So I'm going to turn on this darker adjustment layer. That looks a lot more like lighting you would get. There's a few other options here. You can turn on like faces and lights here just to add a little props or something to the scene. Gotta turn them off. And then finally, say we want to make it look like there's some kind of light coming in through a window. So I'm going to turn on these shadow overlays. See that it's kind of dark, blurry shadows show up across the whole image as if the light was filtering in through some trees and casting shadows on them. Overall, you have a pretty convincing frame mock-up here. Looks like it could have been a photo, but it gives you a lot of customization and options depending on how you want to present your image. I think that should just about cover it. You should know everything you need to know how to use this template. And again, I'm using the 2:3 aspect ratio template, but it's all structured the same for the other ones as well. So yeah, I'll leave a comment or I'll leave some links in the description for where you can grab these. I hope if you pick up a copy of this template that you get some good use out of it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.